When I was a kid, I was really bad at school. I was so bad. Maybe because I have autism, maybe because, I have ADHD, but I just simply couldn't focus in class. I just didn't care. It was really annoying. It was bothering me. I was always drawing. I was always doing something else. And because of that, I always had very bad grades. And I was looking at all those people in my class that were the popular kids. They were having a lot of good grades. They were the prettiest and the most handsome. And I really thought, damn, when they're going to grow up, they're going to be like wealthy doctors or working in banks. Like they literally had their future in their hands and a lot of possibilities. And for me, I'm like, I'll never be able to be as pretty and as successful as any of them, I thought, because I don't know if you can portray me when I was a kid, but I was wearing very white clothing, all black. I had like this really big metal and rock band sweaters. I was just really uncomfortable in my body. My hair, I was not even making them. I was not putting makeup. I was just bad at just being a girl as a teenager. I was just really terribly bad at it. And I would just always be in my corner, and I would be always like, that kind of lonely girl that would draw anime art. I was always like, being teased on for being tall, and as well for because I remember some guys would call me giraffe. And some others would call me like, manga girl. And some others would be like, hey, that's like, Satan's daughter. And I wasn't even bothering anyone, but that's just, how I was called. I mean, it wasn't like, in a bad way. It more was in a teasing way. I wasn't getting bullied because I'm tall. It happened that somebody tried to bully me, and I got called into the principal office because I've hurt them pretty badly. No, if you were to bother me, I would beat the shit out of you, and I wouldn't know how to stop. I was like, when I grow up, I want to make mangas. That's what I thought about, and I was envious of everyone else around me. I'm so glad I turned out good, and I'm sure my parents were thinking the same way. I think that's why I grew up in a really harsh. It's not really harsh, like it depends from one person to another. But I believe for me, I grew up in a harsh environment with my parents because it felt like every time we brought up school or activities or the fact I couldn't make friends properly, my parents were kind of seeing me as a failure. They were not saying it. I mean, they still loved me. They still liked me. They still there were parents that always gave me what I wanted. If let's say I wanted brand new computers, they would buy me a brand new computer. My parents had the money. We were not rich, but we were in a moderate family. Yeah, middle class family. Yeah. Not upper middle, but middle class, yes. They were able to provide if I really wanted something. Even if I wasn't doing great with my grades, they were still giving me like birthdays, present, and present as well during Christmas. My mom grew up with absolutely nothing, and because of that, she wanted to provide to both me and my little brother a lot. So that's why even she could have spent the money on something else, she would always buy me stuff that were expensive. I'm really happy that I have a lovely mother, even though I really hated every time she was telling me how she was disappointed in the fact I was not doing well in school, and that I was a good for nothing, and that when I would grow up, I would just be working at McDonald's or as a cashier, and I will never be able to have a stable income to be able to afford my own house. So my parents, they are very, very happy that my streaming career and my heart is doing great online. They are like, thank God, we thought that would be worse, but thank God, I mean, they're not Christians, they're not believers, but that's just, a way to kind of portray their sentiments regarding me. My mom, she, even still today, she still thinks sometimes I'm an idiot. I mean, I'm an idiot, but not to some extent, I'm not clueless, but sometimes she talks like, I don't know any better, and I'm like, I know, of course I know, it's like just common stuff. Those people, those friends I also had in school, when I thought they turned out better, I really thought they'd just, be better than me, or just in good situation, but they are not at all, and they are in such a bad situation that I don't want to be friends with them. So it's kind of sad because I have to let go of my past and being like, I cannot be friends with people who are just completely, I cannot fix people that are this fucking bad in their life. I can't. I already helped friends that needed help for years, for years, not just a couple of weeks, not just a couple of months, a couple of years. Yes, even when you provide, you cannot be always there for them. You cannot just be always babysitting them, because the important part of growing up is being able to be independent. And I just couldn't be there all the time. I don't mind being there for a friend who's like feeling bad when they need to talk things out because something happened, or because they want to share a feeling that they currently have that they never had before. Like, it's like no biggie. I'm here for my friends if they, call for me, but I cannot be here every single day when you're constantly sad, when you're constantly crying, when you're constantly not even listening to my advices. Like, I've been trying a couple of friends to give them options on what to do in their life. I'm like, how about you do this? How about you do that? How about you come up and visit me? And they just excuses, and then they say they feel better because they do the things they really want to, that I told them not to do, because that's just un cercle vicieux in French. I don't know, a vicious cycle in English. And then they just go back into being bad because they keep doing the same mistake over and over again. At least they are not alone. That's what I can tell myself, is that even if I'm not around them anymore, they still have other friends I can count on. They just want their feelings validated, not to actually fix the problem, since it brings attention to them. Yeah, exactly. Because that's also one of the things I realized with a lot of them, is that they would always talk to me about how they feel, about their life. I would know almost everything about their life, but they would never ask me and you, how you doing? And you, what have you been up to? They never ask me. It's always a one-way relationship. I hate when this happens. I think I'm a good listener to some extent, because it feels your relationship, not relationship, but your friendship with me is always about you. That's not a friendship. I'm not asking you have to also cry for me or whatever, but just how you doing? Just asking me about the weather. It's fine. So how are you today? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I'm doing great because most of the work I've done is done. The sun is shining outside. My window is open. I can have some fresh air going through. And I'm doing great. I've been eating very healthy too, so my body is doing much better. No, good. Weathers and mental, just great. I offer a show that for people to cry on. But again, also family is doing great. My mom is like, I miss you. It's been a while I haven't seen you. And I'm like, well, I have work.